Did you know your home insurance policy has loopholes that only work in favor of the insurance company? These same holes can leave you with absolutely nothing after a disaster, and I mean nothing. We're talking about flood exclusion, sinkhole loopholes, and one silent killer that the insurance company uses every day to deny claims. Now, I know some of y'all out there don't know what an exclusion is. I'm finna tell you. An exclusion is basically something that's not covered in your insurance policy. It means that if it happens to your house, the insurance company ain't gonna pay for it if it's under an exclusion. Now stick with me for a moment, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down 3 of them. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what you can do to protect yourself from them. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Janine, and I'm here to expose what the insurance companies don't want you to do. I'm going to give you the latest Florida news and probably some tips that you may not use, but you're going to definitely enjoy. You know that dream home that you work so hard for, that can turn into a financial nightmare overnight. Now, I'm not talking about having a hurricane come along and destroy it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what's buried inside your insurance policy. And if you don't read it, you're going to find out after you file the claim. And that claim is denied. Now, let's start with the biggest one. The biggest, most misunderstood exclusion there is out there, especially in Florida. It's flood damage. Now, when you hear hurricane, what's the first thing you think of? That's right, water. Now you just assume hurricane come, you get water inside your house. Your insurance policy got you covered. No, that could be a whole nother can of worms right there. Let me tell you. Let me clear something up real quick. Your standard home insurance policy does not cover flood damage. If water comes in from the ground up, if you get a storm surge, rising water, if your street start to flood, you're not covered. That's a flood. And it's excluded every time. And in Florida, that's crazy because we're surrounded by water. Every hurricane season, family lose everything to water. And then they find out that their insurance company ain't gonna pay a dime. Now to protect yourself, you're gonna have a separate flood policy. And here's the crazy part. Some people think, oh, they don't need a flood policy because they don't live in a high-risk flood zone. Flooding in Florida is happening everywhere. And flood insurance in Florida is not an option. It is essential. Now let's talk about something that's very Florida. Sinkholes. Let me give you a little known fact. If you've ever been to Orlando and you go to Lake Eola, this big lake, they got swan paddle boats in the middle, that's a sinkhole. They couldn't do that, they couldn't fill it in, so they decided to make it a park. Little known Florida fact. Now one would think, if you live in Florida and your house starts to crack or started sinking, that your insurance will have you covered on that. Well, yeah, but not really. Not really. This is what you have. Most policies include something called catastrophic ground cover collapse. And you'd be like, what does that mean, Janine? That sounds real good, right? Okay. Here's the reality of that. 4 things would have to happen before that coverage would pay out. The first thing would be the ground collapsing suddenly. Now that sounds like a sinkhole to me, but let's move on. The ground would have to collapse suddenly. A visible hole would have to form. Your house would have to have major structural damage. And then the city would have to deem your house uninhabitable. That basically means that they tell you that you can't live in your house no more because it's not fit to live in. Now, if you got cracks in your walls and your floors are shifting, it's not covered. To actually get protected for a sinkhole, you need sinkhole loss coverage. And that's optional on your policy. And it's going to cost you extra. Most homeowners see catastrophic ground collapse and think they're already covered, but they're not. Now hold up. If this information right here make y'all a little bit stressed out, piss you off, or whatever the case may be, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My goal here is to give you information that the insurance company are relying that you don't know and you won't read your policy to find out. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, this one right here, this is the one that gets people every time. It is called gradual water damage and neglect. Most policies will cover you for accidental discharge of a water source. That's something like you have a sudden pipe break in your house. But it doesn't cover a slow leak. If you got water that has been dripping behind your walls for months, the insurance company is going to call that maintenance. That's a maintenance issue. And they're going to deny that claim as soon as you put it in. And now your claim falls under the neglect clause. And if they think you didn't maintain your house properly, they're going to deny your claim. That's right, they're going to deny it. Because you gotta take care of your house. You can't rely on somebody else to do it for you. When something happens, you figure you call up the insurance company. It don't work like that. And this, you know what else? This happened all the time with roofs. For years, people were forced to replace their roof just because of the age. And the insurance company tell them they need to replace it or they're gonna get dropped. So they go and they spend all this money and they replace the roof. But y'all, I got good news today. A new Florida law goes into effect on July 1st of 2026, that's this year. They're gonna stop the insurance company from denying coverage just because your roof is old. As long as it still have life left in it, the insurance company cannot deny your roof and make you change and spend all that money because you need a new roof because it's old. Now that's a big win. Now if you didn't know, now you know. So y'all, here's what you need to do right now. If you think you're gonna go through hurricane season flood free, think again. For flood insurance, you need to get a separate flood insurance quote. Don't wait. Go out there and get a quote. Ask your agent where you need to go for that flood coverage. Sinkholes. Ask your agent if you have sinkhole loss coverage, not just catastrophic collapse coverage, sinkhole loss coverage. And most of all, maintenance. Y'all, come on, man. Document everything. Take pictures. Keep receipts. Protect yourself from that neglect clause in your policy because they'll get you on that one. If you fix something in your house, keep the receipt. If you replace the water heat, keep the receipt. If you put on a new roof, if you put on a new air conditioner, keep the receipt. Keep it in a file so if something do happen, you can say, oh no, that's not neglect. That happened suddenly. Y'all, homeowners insurance is not a safety net. It's not a home warranty. It's a contract full of loopholes. And if you don't understand it, it can cost you everything. So stop being lazy, get up off your butt, and read your policy. Or if you can't do that, have your agent tell you if you got any exclusions in your policy. Go ahead, ask questions. Get the coverage you actually need to protect your house because your house is your biggest asset. Because you have to catch that bad boy in one day. If you got to leave town real quick, you could go ahead and sell the house, pocket the money, and leave. But that's a whole nother story. And one loophole in the fine print can take all of that away. And that's why I come in. I'm here to give you the information you're gonna need before you get denied. Now, if you dealt with the denied claim, or you confused about your policy, drop it in the comments. Now, chances are you're not the only one going through this. My name is Janine. Y'all, I'm here to expose what the insurance company don't want you to know. And I'll talk to you next time.